1. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I now call the meeting of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate to order. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag. Welcome to the Hillsborough County Code Enforcement Special Magistrate hearing. When addressing the magistrate, please state your name, address, and speak clearly into the microphone. If you are planning to speak during this hearing, you must sign the speakers list located at the front door so your case can be called. Any person who decides to appeal a decision of the Code Enforcement Special Magistrate will need a record of the proceedings. The record is comprised of the testimony and evidence upon which an appeal is based. It is your responsibility to ensure that a verbatim record of the proceedings is made. By law, you have 30 days from the date of my order to appeal my decision to circuit court. Presentations by the county, respondents, and opposition must be kept to a maximum of 10 minutes each. Special magistrate may recess at 12:30 and reconvene at 1:30 to conclude his business if needed. The basic process for this hearing is as follows. Ms. Meyer will conduct the oath of witness. Your case will be announced. Staff will present their evidence on your case, and then you will be allowed to rebut that evidence and explain what has occurred. We'll close the hearing and announce a decision. I may ask questions and allow other witness testimony as necessary. Depending on my order, the county staff may later have to conduct an inspection to see if you have complied. If the staff believes you have not complied, you'll receive a notice by mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it'll be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. For false alarm or water resource cases, if you have not complied by paying the past due burglar or false alarm fine or water resources penalty fine within the time ordered, you will receive a notice in the mail. By law, you have 10 days to contest that notice. Otherwise, it will be considered correct and a lien may be filed against your property. If you have any questions, these rules are outlined by Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Chapter 14, Article 2, Section 14. Before we begin, please silence all electronic devices. On first order of business, I approve the minutes for my meeting on May 7th, 2021. Ms. Meyer?
All county staff who will testify must take the oath of witness. Please stand to take the oath and raise your right hand. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? Thank you. First case is on page 13 of your agenda, number 25. Case number L216651. The owner is Truck Spot Properties, Ruskin, LLC. Location 6415 South US Highway 41. We have service and we have parties signed in. You can come to the microphone and make sure it's on. State your name and address for the record, please. It's not. Now it is.
Is that the button?
That's it.
We did it. Clayton Bricklemeyer, 601 North Ashley Drive, representing the accused. Krista, are you going to make your presentation, or are we just saying we're here to ask for a continuance?
She's gonna start us off and we'll go from there.
Okay, I was going to say.
Good morning. This is Krista Hall with the Environmental Supervisor for the Development Services Department. This is case L216651. I do have a video presentation. I'm just not sure if it's able to go online. Are we able to get that online?
Do you have a video that you wish to present?
I do, but I'm not seeing that it's coming on the web. I don't see it. I've hit stop video. What's okay? I'm ready to go.
Technology.
Right. Krista Hall with the Development Services Department. It's case L21 6651. Property owner and violator is Truck Spot Properties Ruskin LLC, violation address 6415 South 41 Highway, Ruskin, Florida. Violation observed is unpermitted land alteration and construction of a property without approved commercial site plan. Ordinance violated is Section 4.1, 6.06, 5.02. First inspection, February 11th, 2021. First notice, March 21st, 2021. Last inspection, May 27th, 2021. 3 inspections. On the first inspection on February the 11th, John Beavers went out to the property. He inspected the site, found that there was some activity going on. The initial complaint was in regards to some tree removal work, which he noted was in the right-of-way. Upon further evaluation and research, the staff was able to identify that this commercial site had initiated the business without an approved site plan. In future inspections from March 17th on, it was noted that there was no landscaping, no stormwater, no other requirements that met the land development code. This case, May 25th, 2021, John Beavers went to the property and identified that no corrective action has occurred. Further inspections on May 27th, so no improvements have been made to the property in regards to commercial site plan approval from the county. Staff's recommendation is that the property owner submit a site development plan and a natural resource permit application and then obtain the site development approval and the permit within 180 calendar days. Fines will be issued for failure to meet these timeframes.
Okay, Counselor? What'd you like to tell us?
Thanks. I was retained recently. We called after Ms. Hall and I spoke to sort of get me up to speed. I'm still learning this a little bit. We submitted immediately for a pre-sub. We're not actually 100% sure what we need to do to make this right. So the first step is going to be a pre-sub. We're going to hire a civil. Unfortunately, the county backlog means that my pre-sub is currently scheduled for July 28th. And therefore we'd like to continue. I think Ms. Hull and I discussed 120-day continuances. Are we still good at 4 months?
After review with management, it was determined that we provide sufficient time frame with the staff recommendation for you to have your pre-submittal meeting and submit your plan. And that's why the recommendation is set at 180 calendar days.
180 is better, obviously. I wasn't sure if that's what we were saying at 180. 180 is a lot better. I was going to say, I would bet if we did 120, I probably would be back here telling you what the update was and asking for another continuance, but that's all we're asking for today. We're committed to fixing it.
Okay, terrific. Thank you. Is there somebody online that needs to speak to this case as well?
I think the property owner was online in case I had to leave.
Oh, okay.
I'm online and just, we support getting the improvements done and doing what we need to do to make it right. So basically what Clayton said.
Okay. Just want to make sure you didn't have something to add.
Yep, thank you.
No problem.
Would the speaker identify himself, please?
This is Brent Wells, the owner of Truck Spot Properties Ruskin.
Thank you so
Sir,
much.
let me give you the oath of witness, since you did have something to say.
Okay.
Can you raise your right hand, please? Do you swear or affirm the testimony you just gave is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. I rule in case L 216651 that based on the evidence presented, I find the case Ms. Hall, can you put the recommendations back up for me? I know I should have written them down, but I was,
About that.
that's okay.
This went down on me, Dawn. To sharing. And I've lost the share button again. The share button's gone again. Okay.
I move in case L 216651 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator to submit a site development plan and a natural resources permit application, and then obtain a site development approval and a natural resources permit within 180 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $250 per day. Thank you, Counselor. Next case, please.
Turn back to page 11, number 20, case number L 216519. The owner is, I don't know how to say the first name, Wagig Mark. I'm going to let him say his name.
Okay.
The address is 9211 Rock Rose Drive. We have service. Good morning, sir.
Morning.
Can you pull the mic down and make sure it's on? Okay.
Yeah.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name, please,
Wagim Macarius,
and your address?
9211 Rock Rose Drive, Tampa, Florida, 33647.
Thank you.
I can't breathe. A problem.
Ms. Hall?
It's my turn.
Repeat the case number, please.
Case number L 216519.
Krista Hall with the Development Services Department, case L 216519, property owner Wage Macarius. Violation address 9211 Rock Rose Drive, Tampa. Violation observed, unpermitted removal of one live oak tree measuring 20 inches DBH, diameter at 4.5 feet above existing grade. Ordinance violated is section 4.01.03. First inspection, January 7th, 2021. First notice, January 15th, 2021. Last inspection, May 26th, 2021. 2 inspections. First inspection was conducted on January 6th, 2021 by Tony Hood. It was identified that a tree in the front property was removed. The location was near the sidewalk. Follow-up inspection on May 26th found no improvements to the property in regards to restoring a tree or any landscaping to the property. Staff recommendation is that the property owner submit a compliant tree restoration and/or contribution agreement for 20 dBA inches of trees within 30 calendar days. complete the restoration or contribution to the restoration fund within 60 calendar days from receipt of the approved agreement. Fines will be issued for failure to meet the timeframes. The restoration fund equates to $65 per inch.
Okay, sir. Good morning. What would you like to tell
Good
us?
morning. I thought I was doing the right thing. I installed the tree, but I looked at the wrong list of the trees. And apparently it was the wrong trees. Just the day before, I spoke to Tony, the inspector, and I was telling him that I have this tree in place and I have 2 other trees in the back. But he asked me that he's going to inspect. And anyway, I ended up taking a shot and sent it to him, emailing it to him. He looked at it. He said, no, that's wrong too. It's not the right tree. But anyway, now I find out that there is a list of the shade tree that I supposed to put, which I'm going to do. But I need time to do that. That was the day before from now. So I didn't have time to do that.
Understand. How much time do you think you need to complete that?
Not much. The time just to order online because I can't find them in the Home Depot or Lowe's. I can't find them around, so I have to order them online. The only question I have, I understood now. Has to be. I have to replace whatever is 10-inch of trees, of how wide it should be, but the height. I'm not sure how does every tree has to be 8 feet?
The code requires that a restored tree back on the property has to be a minimum height at 8 feet. That was identified in your first notice.
I understand, but I can't find it.
Home Depot and
Hmm.
the local ware stores, those are not nurseries that will carry high-quality trees. You probably need to go to the other nurseries, wholesale nurseries in the area, and locate a different type of tree.
Okay, because the one I put, it was more than 8 feet, but it was the wrong tree and died anyway. But I'll do that with the right tree, and we hope, also, if I put it in the same spot, it's not going to grow because there is roots that in the middle, it doesn't make it grow. There's big roots there. I have to put it somewhere else. And now, am I allowed to put it in the front or in the back, or just has to be in the same spot?
Yes, sir. You can put the tree anywhere on your property. The right-of-way tree does not have to go back in the right-of-way for this property.
Even in the backyard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's good to know.
Mhm.
So 8-inch now, if I don't find the 10-inch with that height, which is going to be almost impossible to do, it needs a truck. Now, Tony told me to replace it with more than ones to accumulate the 10-inch wide. Now, let's say I get a tree is 3-inch wide and with the same height, with the 8 feet high.
We can work with you that, sir.
Yeah.
These details, we can work with you. As long as we know that you're able to do that, we can go ahead and make a decision today.
Yeah, I'll do that.
All right, thank you.
Okay. So based on the timelines of 30 days and 60 days, that gives you plenty of time to do what you need to do?
Yes.
Okay, terrific. Thank you.
Thank you.
I rule in case L216519, that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the grant violation, the action taken by the violator and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations and order the violator to submit a compliant tree restoration and/or contribution agreement for 20 dBH inches of trees within 30 calendar days. Also, to complete restoration and/or contribution to the restoration fund within 60 calendar days from receipt of the approved agreement. Failure to meet any of the timelines above will result in a fine of $150 per day. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Appreciate the time. Next case, please.
Turn to page 12, number 22, case number L216591. The owner is Travis Bangerter and Maria I. Bangerter. Location 1628 Harvest Grove Court. We have service and we have the owner here. Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
And state your name and address.
My name is Travis Bangerter. Address is 1628 Harvest Grove Court, Valrico, Florida, 33596.
Thank you.
Ms. Krista Hall with the Development Services Department, case L 216591. Property owner and violator is Travis and Maria Bangerter. Violation address 1628 Harvest Grove Court, Valrico. Violation is failure to restore wetland conservation setback area to natural conditions without permanent structures. Ordinance violated is section 4.01.07. First inspection, January 28, 2021. First notice, February 11th, 2021. Last inspection, May 26, 2021. 2 inspections. Tony Hood was on the property at January 28th, 2021. They identified that there was a fence. The wetland area in the picture is on the right. The subdivision Harvest Field shows a setback area, and the setback is shown on the plans. There's a blow up on the next slide, easier to see. As you can see, the single-family permit was issued shows the wetland line, and the setback, 30-foot setback, goes pretty much right up to the edge of the property house or the residential house. The code requires no features, no permanent features in that setback area, only natural vegetation. Some improvements can be made upon county approval or a variance. January 28th, Tony took a closer picture. You can see the fence, you can see a playground. There's a shed in the back area that is all in the 30-foot setback without a county approval. Another picture taken on May 26 shows all the features still remain on the property after notification of the violation. Staff recommendation is that the property owner submit a variance application within 30 calendar days for the wetland setback, obtain approval for the variance within 120 calendar days, or remove all materials, structures within 30 calendar days from denial of the variance or prior to submittal of a variance application.
Good morning, sir. What would you like to tell us?
So this is new information for me because the letter that I received tells me that my violation was something to do with removing vegetation. It does not mention the fence, does not mention the shed, does not mention the playground. I don't think the playground's actually in the setback. And just to let you know, when I bought this home in 2014, the fence was there. The shed was there, the playground was there. So I didn't build it, so I'm not sure what permits or anything the previous owner might have received or what permissions he received or did not receive at the time. But I do appreciate the clarification because I've been clueless on what's been going on and why I've been getting this information. I did try calling the number on the back of this one. It kept going to a full voicemail box. So I can never get any clarifications on this. So I don't know which one of these works best for me. I don't know what a variance application would do for me. So
Well, the variance application will allow you to, if approved, would allow you to keep the fence and the playground and the storage shed where they currently are.
just to let you know, the playground's probably coming down at the end of the summer. My kids are way too big for it.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
So if anybody wants it, you can
It happens too fast. I understand. Well, that's the good news, but we still have two pieces of that we need to deal with. So
Okay.
based on the staff's recommendations, you've seen what the issues are. Are you comfortable with those timeframes, either with the variance or removal of the materials?
I would prefer the variance, to be honest. Like I said, I mean, it's been there 7 years. I've enjoyed the fence these past 3 years when the coyotes showed up. So I don't want those guys in my backyard, especially with the dogs. They don't play well together. So I don't know what the variance process is. So if I don't know if anybody's available here that could.
Normally, that's where we insert, go up to such and such a floor, but we can't do that today. So where does he need to go, Krista, to start that process? Can you?
He needs to contact Development Services Department and get in touch with the zoning staff that will assist him with the variance process. The wetland setback process is handled through the land use hearing officer, LUHO. And he will be able to get assistance through that division.
Okay, is there, somebody have a pen I could write that down with, or? And what was that again? I'm sorry.
Well, back to the Development Services Department, the zoning division handles the land use hearing officer, the LUHO process for getting a variance.
Development Services, and it was which department again? I'm sorry.
The zoning division.
Zoning. You happen to have a number for them, or?
Not with me right now, I'm sorry.
Okay. Is it easy to look up on?
Yes. So based on staff's recommendations, you're going to have 30 days to submit a variance application and start the process. And then it's obviously it takes some time to go through that process and they'll describe that to you, but then you'll have 120 days to wait for approval on that. Or you have 30 days to remove the fence and the playground and the storage unit. So those are the options.
Okay.
Make sense?
Yeah, I'm going to go the variance route and see what I can pull out of the hat there.
Absolutely.
I'm thankful for the information
No.
and whatnot, and an opportunity to get out of the house.
For sure. Absolutely. Thanks for coming down.
Thank you.
I rule in case L 216591 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes and ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, concur with staff's recommendations and ask the violator to submit a variance application within 30 calendar days for the wetland setback. Also to obtain approval for that variance within 120 calendar days, or removal of all materials or structures within 30 calendar days from denial of variance or prior to submittal of variance application. Fines failure to meet any of the deadlines listed above will result in a penalty of $150 per day. Next case, please.
Number 23, case number L 216592. The owner is Pablo Ibarra, location 4405 Pine Street. We have service, and Mr. Ibarra is here.
Good morning.
Raise your right hand, please. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
And state your name and address.
My name is Pablo Ibarria. My address is 4405 Pine Street in Valrico, 33596.
Thank you.
This is Krista Hall, County Development Service Department, case L 216592. Property owner and violator is Pablo Ibarra. Violation address is 4405 Pine Street, Valrico. Violation is unpermitted land alterations and disposal of fill materials that alter surface waters within a 100-year floodplain area. Violation ordinance violated is section 4.01.03, first inspection, January 28th, 2021. First notice, February 11th, 2021. Last inspection, May 19th, 2021. 2 inspections. The first inspection was conducted by Jim Ralph on May 19th. Is Mr. Ralph online? Is my understanding, it was noted that additional fill was added to the property without county approval in a floodplain. And the fill was spread out across the property. On May 19th, Jim noted that the fill was still disposed on the property. Staff recommendation is to remove all fill disposed in the 100-year floodplain area within 90 days or submit a compliant natural resources permit application to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property. The following items must be included in the application. Submit a professional engineer's plan or a certified floodplain manager's report. Provide an as-built plan of the final grade elevations and obtain a natural resource permit within 90 days.
Ms. Hall, do we have a floodplain map showing the amount of coverage within the floodplain, or is the entire property in the floodplain?
I don't see that it was provided for this presentation.
Is Jim online? Jim?
They had the same problem with that link that I had earlier. I had shared it with them, and evidently that link is not working for them or for us. I did resend it to see if maybe that would help.
Okay. Sir, what would you like to tell us?
I don't even know where to begin.
Uh-oh.
I assume that I still have 10 minutes of,
Sure, absolutely.
I'm going to use all of it. I'm going to try to use all of it.
Okay.
Try to explain myself properly.
Please.
Yeah, it's known that that's a flood area, but my intentions were not to fill the lot with any of that dirt. As a matter of fact, this dirt come about, I come across this guy who's digging pools.
Yeah,
And
no,
I
I've
figured that I
got
can benefit from it.
YouTube and that open, and I can't on my YouTube. Oh,
I did see Jim did come online.
Okay, well, let's let the gentleman finish here and we'll go back to Jim.
Okay.
Go ahead, sir.
And so I use one of these phrases where it seems like you have to break the law to find out what the laws are. Oblivious to knowing that bringing dirt to my lot, 2-acre lot, was against the law. So as soon as I get this is the plan, my business is for landscaping. I mow, I do different things, and I figured I can benefit from this dirt. My plan also is to create a 700 square foot garage, steel building, and I need to use that fill to make the foundation, to make the platform of where this is going to be erected when I get the permit for it, which I haven't gotten yet because now I have this, and everything has stopped pretty much. So the dirt that was in the front yard is all gone. According to Jim, he claimed that I can spread that dirt to use it as a driveway, which I don't have. And my dwelling, actually, when it rains a little bit, is about calf high in water. So my intention was to go around my property, my house, with a little bit of this dirt, which I did. I did that because I'm thinking that I'm following the instructions. So I did that. I planted it with a little bit of plants and whatever. The front mounds are gone. Also, the instructions were to either donate it or dispose of it, whatever it took to get rid of it, get rid of it. So I used some of it and I donated some of it as it was donated to me, So I still have a little bit of, so when you looked at some of these pictures that you saw there, you saw that my front porch is completely destroyed to termites, and I just need to replace it. Lumber's gotten crazy expensive. So my plan, which I have pictures to show, front and back porch, I have made a block square, 3 blocks high, with a footer and all this stuff. It's all compliant. I've even had an inspector there for that. And some of that fill is going into that square so I can lay a foundation over the top of it so I can access my home. I don't know the urgency, why it's so urgent for me to get rid of this. I guess I have to answer questions now. I don't know, because like I say, I have a lot to say, but I don't know where to begin. I don't know what else to tell you now. So why don't I just answer questions? I guess.
Well, this is the opportunity for you to tell us. So I don't want to cut you short. I know you wanted to use all your time. I just want to make sure.
Well,
still have 6
my
minutes
intention
left.
is not to break the law. I'm not here to break the law. I'm not here to pay no fines or nothing like that. I responded to this the same day. I called up Mr. Rausch immediately to find out verbally from him, because sometimes, and he worked with me. Guy was really cool. I contacted Ms. Hall over the phone. And Ms. Hall gave me a whole bunch of excuses. And then she says, as a matter of fact, we won't even grant you a permit for the natural resource permit. So then I'm stuck. I'm like, wait a minute, now my hands are bound. I can't do anything. Now Because her phrase to me was, we won't even grant you a permit. When you hear things like that, you just don't know what to do. You panic. And that's where my state is. I don't know what to do. I'm benefiting from it. Half of those mounds in the back there, they're gone. There's only 2 left, which I'm going to take advantage of now in the next couple of days. But after that, I mean, there's nothing there. Those mounds mostly right now have, one of them has, it's a baseball pitching mound. It's nothing, no bigger than this. And it's just got a lot of vegetation.
Sir, I'm gonna have to ask you I understand you're graphically showing us, but the ladies that do the recording are gonna be very upset with me if you keep standing away from the microphone, they can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay.
I didn't realize.
You can move your hands while you're standing right there. Thank you.
So it just has vegetation and it looks like it's more than what it is. I guess I'm waiting for questions. I don't know. I'm stuck. This is the first time I'm presenting.
No problem.
This.
I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Jim. Jim's back online.
Okay.
Jim, can you fill us in on here on some of the holes if you would?
Yes, sir. Yeah, I went out there initially and it was mostly piles piled up against the back of his property, which is pretty far back from the actual complainant. But it is still in a flood zone. That entire neighborhood, the whole area actually is in a flood zone. So he's not allowed to have the fill. I did consult with some of the other stormwater engineers, and because he didn't have a driveway and the fill was level right up to the house, they said it would be okay to put some of the fill up against the house area to deter stormwater from coming to the house. And also he didn't have a driveway to put some of the fill and then put some, crushed asphalt or some other material for his driveway to have a driveway, because otherwise it could, be a life safety issue for ambulances or fire trucks, stuff like that, if it's muddy and he doesn't have a driveway. So he was instructed that he could put some of the fill that he had in that area, but the excess would have to be removed. And some of the fill has been moved and put around the house, as you've seen from the last photos. And I think he needs a little bit more of a driveway up by the house. There wasn't a lot put for the driveway yet, so there may be more going in that area. Something four no more than 6 inches high above the existing grade there, because the water can still flow around that area. But there is some excess fill that will need to be hauled off site. He's been keeping in communication with me and working with me, so I do appreciate that.
Okay, terrific. So, sir, you understand the issue in regards to the entire property being within the floodplain and making the changes that you understand what needs to be moved and those kind of things in regards to Krista's presentation and the timeline, correct?
Yeah, I understand that now after the fact, after the violation,
Well, that's why we come together, give everybody an opportunity, and I understand that you're willing to work with them. And
oh yeah, for the most, yeah, most definitely.
It's fantastic. It's very refreshing compared to some of the folks that come.
No.
So I appreciate it.
I realize what the violation is. Like I say, after the fact, because I don't think there's many people out there that's going to go through a Bible worth of books or whatever to find out section such and such and such, and find out that you can't do something.
Well, that's why we have this process and give everybody the opportunity. So do you understand the timelines that are listed in regards to removing the existing fill within 90 days?
I do understand that.
Okay. Any problems or concerns with that?
Yes, because I want to set examples. I want to create an example, because you can drive around anywhere in town, and sometimes you'll see, for example, a BMX track in the backyard of someone's home, or small. In this case, I have sweet potatoes back there. The chickens feed off of all that stuff, vegetation and all that. And you guys want me to get rid of it completely and make a flat? I mean, is there an exemption anywhere or something that we can work with?
I think what staff is asking for, and correct me if I'm wrong, Ms. Hull, but they're asking for you to return it to the original levels. So the floodplain issue, you have an impact of where the water flows with all your neighbors and all those. I mean, everything in that area, according to Jim's testimony, is within the floodplain. So it needs to be restored to original levels. That's what we're asking.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what is I want to, just before I leave, I want to be sure. what has been done already around the house and the driveway and stuff like that, that can stay? Or,
Mr. Iberia, I just wanted to let you know that the, floodplain area requires restoration under the FEMA regulations also.
Mhm.
And the county supports that through our code requirements. And so you have two choices here. One is you can remove everything you disposed within the floodplain. I know that some of it is exempt around the house and the driveway. But if it's not exempt, you have to remove it. Now, if you feel that you need to keep some of that area impacted by the floodplain, yes, you can get a permit. That is the next option here. I did not tell you that you could not get a permit. It must have been someone else in the
yes, ma'am, you
office.
did. And as a matter of fact, you even said that for any load that I bring in, I have to take equal amount out. And I
Sir.
figured how,
Sir,
Yes,
I'm
and that
sorry,
is,
sir.
let her finish, please.
Yes,
and
ma'am,
that
I'm
is-
sorry.
and that is part of the permit process. You can do that, but you would have to show in a plan in the permit how you are going to create a new retention area. And maybe you misunderstood me, my apologies, but the permit process would allow you to create a retention area for any fill that you kept on the property. So the choice is either remove it all or do a permit to show us how you were going to create a stormwater retention.
There is a stormwater retention behind my lot, between my back door neighbor and mine. I don't know exactly what you're trying to say.
The code says for every new fill you brought in a floodplain area,
Mhm.
you must create a new retention area cup for cup.
Okay.
So you have to show either a new retention pond or a drainage swell. You have to create something new for the new fill. Okay? You can't use an old retention area. You have to create a new one.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't know. Okay. Will you grant me a natural resource permit of any type for any section of my lot?
Per the recommendation, you can submit a natural resource permit application for review. Once the review goes through the review team, then the permit can be granted. I don't grant those permits. It's handled by another manager. So I'm just letting you know about the process.
Okay. I'm cool with all that. I want to know, I want to be sure that some of that dirt that shows on the pictures, I'm still taking advantage of it to finish that part of my front porch. After all that is done, yeah, all of that dirt can be gone. You want to send someone up there to inspect it or whatever? I need to know a date that they will go out there so I can make sure that I'm complying.
That's based on the recommendations from staff. I'm going to make an order, and you're going to have 90 days to do that.
90
Is what
days.
their recommendation is. Either you remove the fill or you start your permit application process in the next 90 days. So after 90 days, the inspector, Jim, or whoever's been assigned to it will come out and review it to see if that material is gone. That's what we're saying from a timeline. And if it gets done sooner than that, you're welcome to call and have them come out and inspect it and be done with it. That's completely up to you.
I just want to be sure that I can take advantage of this dirt to the maximum.
May I interject?
Sure.
I just wanted to, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
You speaking to me?
Yes.
My name is Pablo Iberia, 4405
Pablo,
Pine Street.
Pablo, this is Jim. We talked.
Never
about
had the
this.
pleasure of meeting you. I've only gotten your.
Yes, sir. We've
notices.
talked on the phone several times. I just want to make you aware that there is a fee to the permit, and also the permit would require that you either hire an engineer or a certified floodplain manager to do a report to say that the amount of dirt you're taking out not only compensates for the dirt that you're taking out of the hole, but also for the dirt that's already on site. So it would be a substantial cost. However, removing the dirt, we're going to work with you and let you use it to peak of what you're allowed, putting fill around your house and your driveway. So if you're to remove the other fill that's not in the driveway area and just restore it to the level that you did, there's going to be no additional cost other than your labor or the cost of removing the dirt. But I just want to make you aware, if you do choose to do the permit, there's a substantial cost involved in that to get it approved, and you'll still end up having to build a pond to compensate for the fill on site.
That's exactly what I need to try to avoid is cost.
That's why
I'll
I
work
was
with the
aware that
county from one end to the other. My
Right, we
problem
just-
is cost.
Yeah, we discussed that on the phone previously, and that's why I wanted to make you aware. If you're going to go the route of the permit, it can get costly because we're going to need reports from engineers.
The good news is, it sounds like you've got a great rapport with Jim, and he's
No.
he's
we-
going to be able to
we've
work with you through
communicated
this
excellent.
process. So my suggestion would be to try to get it done sooner than later, and then have him come out and review and see what you could do to maximize the dirt the best way that you
I
can.
want to, right, exactly. I want to maximize it as much as I can in compliance.
Absolutely, no problem.
At a zero cost,
Okay,
at a zero citation.
fantastic. Well, I'll go ahead and make
That's my goal.
super. Pablo, I'll go ahead and make my ruling, and then you're free to start that process.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Absolutely. I rule in case L216592 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, concur with staff's recommendations and require the violator to remove all fill disposed in the 100-year floodplain area within 90 calendar days, or submit a compliant natural resources permit application to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property. Following items must be included in the application: to submit a professional engineer's plan or a certified floodplain manager's report, provide an as-built of the plan of the final grade elevations, and to obtain a natural resources permit after receipt of application within 90 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above results in a penalty of $100 per day.
Sir, could you adjust that? Could you please add to exempt the areas of fill that would be exempt, because some fill was brought into the floodplain for the driveway and immediately around the house, and that would be allowed by code.
Absolutely. I amend my order to include the exempted fill that is allowed around the house and driveway.
Can I just add one thing, please? I have a photo.
Absolutely. I've already ruled. So
Well, that's fine. You can rule. I just want to show you one picture, please. And this is just from 2 days rain. 2 days ago rain. Can I hand this to you?
you cannot.
How
No.
can I give this to you? We're supposed to work with each other, but this is part of this. That's the only one I want to show you. Yes, ma'am. And that's just 20 minutes worth of rain. And that's where the driveway is going to be. That's where the fill is going, you know? That's the only thing that I want to correct.
I understand. And Jim's told you that you can do what you need to do with the driveway. So
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic. It
Thank
sounds
you,
like you
Jim.
guys have a plan.
Thank you. Thank you for your
Pablo.
time.
Appreciate you coming down. Thank you, sir.
Thank you for taking my time.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you, Jim.
Okay, that does clear
Thank you.
the audience, the citizens who have attended.
Oh, okay.
So do you want to just go back to the beginning of the agenda?
Yeah, let's run back to the top and we can get Tina out of here.
Okay, next case is on page 1.
Sure.
Number 1, case number BA 11060. The owner is Colfin Cobalt 1-2 Owner LLC, and the violator is Mobile High Tech Wheels. Location 3719 Corporex Park Drive. We have service on both parties and no one is present.
Tina Burney, Hillsborough County Consumer and Veteran Services, case BA 11060, data false alarm 10720, 101620, service for 521, amount due $1,000, no additional outstanding violations.
I'm sorry, Tina, what was the third date?
The service date
Yes.
for April 5th.
I rule in case BA 11060, the base of the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances listed in staff's presentation. Further, based on the violation, action taken by the filer and the violators' history. Hold on one second. Thank you, ladies, for taking care of me. Let me restate my motion. I rule in case BA 11060, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed, or if payment is not made by that date, a fine of $25 per day be assessed.
Number 2, BA 117145. This case complied May 28th, 2021. Page 2, number 3, BA 117398A. This case complied June 3rd, 2021. Number 4, BA 122691. This case complied May 21st, 2021. Page 3, number 5, BA 118578. The owner is the estate of Cynthia Cobb. Location 11921 Lark Song Loop. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 118578, data false alarm 9/12/20, service 4/5/21, amount due $100, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 118578, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 6, BA 98586. This case complied June 3rd, 2021. Page 4, number 7, BA 112508. This case complied May 17th, 2021. Number 8, BA 117398. The owner is Michelle A. Williams. Location 13924 Snowy Plover Lane. We have service and no one is present.
I show that case is complied on June the 3rd. Is that correct?
Yes, June 3rd.
Complied? Okay.
Number 6 is not complied, though. I don't know what happened.
It's not. It's not one of the ones you gave me. I apologize. Do you want to go ahead and do the one I just called? We'll go back to number 6.
That one's complied, so we can go back to number 6.
Okay, wait a minute. Number 8 is complied.
Correct.
I apologize.
As of June 3rd.
I got them mixed up.
That's okay.
Okay, back on page 3, number 6, BA 98586. The owner is West Knox Group LLC, location 5101 West Knox Street. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 98586, data false alarm 10/4/20, service 4/2/21, amount due $100, additional outstanding $175.
What was the date for the additional outstanding?
2/13/21 and 4/10/21.
I rule in case BA 98586, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Page 5, number 9, BA 122859. The owner is Mildred Diaz and Rodrigo Murcia, 2207 Parkview Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Case BA 122859, data false alarm 9/22/20, service 4/5/21, amount due $75, additional outstanding $100. That's from 2/7/21.
Thank you. I rule in case BA 122859, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed in order that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $20 per day be assessed.
Number 10, BA 123365. This case complied May 21st, 2021. Page 6, number 11, BA 74479. The owner is Northdale LLC and the violator is Cornerstone Pub, 3807 Northdale Boulevard. We have service on both parties and no one is present.
Case BA 74479, data false alarm 9/21/20, service 4/2/21, amount due $75, no additional outstanding violations.
I rule in case BA 74479, that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the false alarm penalty fine imposed by County Ordinance 04-16. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the fine imposed in order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Page 6, number 12, BA 8056. This case complied May 20, 2021. And that concludes the BA cases.
I'm showing an open case for number, oh, I'm sorry. We're on to water resource. My apologies. Next case, please.
Next case is on page 7, number 13, under water ordinance cases. Case number WR 200-1426. The owners are Jeremy and Letitia Millsap. Location 11706 Wintercrest Cove Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Good morning, Carmine Pisano with Code Enforcement. The case of WR 200-1426. On Wednesday, 10/28/20, 8:41 hours, Officer Ted Baker arrived at the location of 11706 Winterset Cove Drive to observe the sprinkler system on in the front yard. This event occurred on a non-watering day during non-watering hours. Notice of violation was sent on 10/30/2020. The default letter was certified mailed on 12/1/2020. We were initially heard this case on 3/5/2021. When no one appeared, there was an issue with the service. It was rescheduled to this date. Officer in 5/21/2021, Officer Baker posted the notice of hearing. The fines are $100.
I rule in case WR 200-1426, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 14, case number WR 200-1444. This case complied June 3rd, 2021. Page 8, number 15, case number WR 2100105. The owner is Omar Fritz Pollard, 7119 Nightshade Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Carmine Pisano with Code Enforcement. This is the case of WR 2100105. On Thursday, 2/4/2021, at 7:20 hours, Officer Ted Baker arrived at the location of 7119 Nightshade Drive to observe the sprinkler system on the front left side of the driveway. This event occurred on a non-watering day. Notice of violation was sent on 2/8/2021. The default letter was sent certified on 3/16/2021. Notice of hearing. Officer on 5/20/2021, Officer Baker attempted to hand delivery notice to hearing and was posted. The fine is $100.
I rule in case WR 2100105, the base of the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. Grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. In order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
Number 16, case number WR 200-1429. The owner is Lashana Lachey McCall, location 11819 Thicketwood Drive. We have service and no one is present.
Carmine Pisano, Hillsborough County Code Enforcement. This is the case of WR 200-1429. On Wednesday, 10/28/2020 at 8:59 hours, Officer Ted Baker arrived at the location of 11819 Thicketwood Drive to observe the sprinkler system on in the yard. This event occurred during non-watering hours. Notice of violation was sent on 10/30/2020. Default letter was sent certified mail on 12/8/2020. Initially heard on 3/5/2021. There was an issue with the service, so it was rescheduled. On 5/20/2021, Officer Baker hand delivered the notice of hearing, first time fine of $100.
I rule in case WR 2001429 that based on the evidence presented, the violator has failed to pay the water resources penalty fine for illegal sprinkling imposed by section 111-7, Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and Laws, Part B, Public Utilities. I grant the violator 30 days to pay the water penalty fine imposed. Order if that payment is not made by that date, a fine of $15 per day be assessed.
That concludes the water cases. We're back to the L cases. Next case is on page 9, number 17, case number L 206022. The owner is Two Docks and an RPH LLC, location 18981 North Del Mabry Highway. We have service and no one is present.
Krista Hall with the Development Services Department, case L 206022. Property owner and violator is Two Docks and an RPH LLC. Violation address is 18981 North Del Mabry Highway, Lutz. Violation observed, unpermitted removal of 53 pine trees measuring a total of 331 inches DBH. Ordinance violated, section 4.01.03, first inspection, December 2nd, 2019, first notice, March 2nd, 2020, last inspection, March 30th, 2021, 3 inspections. Just as a refresher, this case did come before you like a month or two ago.
Yes.
He agreed to provide us information on the tree service, which at the time he was doing that, he evidently consulted with his attorneys and decided to go ahead and resolve it himself versus having us pursue another party.
Okay.
So he has agreed to pay restoration for the tree loss, and he has submitted a payment. Unfortunately, he decided to submit that payment yesterday.
Oh.
And I let him know that we cannot confirm compliance until that payment has processed, because it's about a $20,000 payment. And so we have to confirm that before we can comply the case. So I advised him yesterday that I'm going to go ahead and ask that you grant 15 calendar days to ensure that that payment goes through. If there's any problems, then he can fix it. But so that is the recommendation at this point, is to complete the agreement within 15 calendar days, or a fine will be issued. And he understands that.
Okay, terrific. I rule in case L 206022 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County Codes of Ordinances and task presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations. Order the violator to complete contribution agreement to the restoration fund within 15 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines above result in a penalty of $200 per day. Thank you. Next case, please.
Page 10, number 18, L 206023. The owner is Richard S. Eves, 4508 Lithia Pinecrest Road. We have service and no one is present. And Mr. Eves did leave a message on our office phone yesterday. In his message, he stated he had already spoken with Krista Hall, so I'm sure she told him whatever he needed to know.
Krista Hall with the Development Services, case L 206023. Property owner is Richard Eves, violation address 4508 Lithia Pinecrest Road in Valrico, violation, unpermitted land alterations and disposal of fill materials that alter surface waters within a 100-year floodplain area. Ordinance violated, section 4.01.03, first inspection, June 15th, 2020. First notice, December 7th, 2020. Last inspection, May 19th, 2021. 3 inspections. On June 15th, 2020, Jim Rout went to the property and he identified filling that had occurred on the property and also within the floodplain area. Fill has been disposed on the property. May 19th, some of the fill has been graded. It is my understanding that he wants to get a natural resource permit and that he will be in the process to initiate that once he comes back from, I believe he's going to be going to Bible camp. Jim, you have some more information on this?
Yeah, Richard has spoken with me extensively since the violation. It's happened, the fill has come in there over a number of years. I think some may have even been before he owned the property. And he thought that as long as he built the swale, you can see in the photo showing now the swale between him and a neighbor, that he was okay because he wasn't flooding a neighbor. And I explained, no, it's still in a flood zone and you can't have it in there. So he called me on Thursday and said that he had hauled a lot of fill out of there already. And I just didn't have time. It was in the afternoon. I didn't have time to come by and check it. But I told him I'd try and get out there today or Monday, and that when he gets back, we'll discuss what needs to be done. He did express to me quite a bit that he was concerned that, not showing up was going to be held against him. And I said, well, the ruling would be the same either way, and I'll express to the magistrate you wanted to be here, but he does a Bible camp with youth every year, and it was just scheduled at the same time, and how to plan that. So when he gets back, we're going to go back and look at it and see what additional fill needs to come out.
Great. He's been in communication with you then regularly?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And then just FYI for me, is everything on that south side of Lithia Pinecrest, is it 100% within the floodplain? Is there any portion of the property that is not, or?
No, pretty much everything on that side of Lithia Pinecrest Road. When they built River Hills years ago in the 80s, it changed the drainage there, and that everything in that river basin is in a flood zone.
Understand.
In fact, the other case we just heard is literally a stone's throw from this one.
Sure. Okay. Thank you.
So the staff recommendation is that Mr. Eves submit a compliant natural resources permit application to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property. The following items must be included in the application: either submit a professional engineer's plan or a certified floodplain manager's report, provide an as-built plan of the final grade elevations, and then obtain a natural resource permit after receipt of the application, and completion in 90 days.
Okay. I rule in case L 206023 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances of staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of violation, the action taken by the violator, and the violator's history, I concur with staff's recommendations. Require the violator to submit a compliant natural resources permit application to address the disposed fill materials and stormwater requirements for the property. The following items must be included in the application: submit a professional engineer's plan or a certified floodplain manager's report, provide an as-built plan of the final grade elevations, obtain a national resources permit after receipt of application within 90 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a fine of $200 per day.
I'm curious about this. I have a question about this recommendation.
In regards to the timelines?
Everything's 90 days. So on the last part, when it says obtain the permit, 90 days after receipt of the application, but submitting the application is part of that same timeline.
Yeah, we've tried to condense this down into one time frame, and I believe taking out after receipt of application will probably be the best solution.
Yeah, I
So the violator needs to, so I'll amend my motion to say that the violator needs to submit a professional engineer's plan or certified floodplain manager report, provide as-built a plan or final grade elevations, and obtain a natural resources permit within 90 calendar days.
Yeah, there we go.
thank you.
So amended. Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 19, L206174. This case complied June 3rd, 2021. Page 11, number 21, L216560. This case complied May 27th, 2021. Page 13, number 24, L216613. The owner is Rolando Frometa Escobar and Deslamus Prieto Perez. The property is vacant residential lot at Dad Weldon Road. And I don't know, something's left off on the agenda. Anyway, we have service and no one is present.
Krista Hall with the Development Services Department, case L 216613. Property owner and violator is Frometa Rolando Escobar Prieto Deslimes Perez. Violation address, Dad Weldon Road in Dover. Unpermitted land alterations and disposal of fill materials in a county floodplain area. Ordinance violated, section 4.1.03, first inspection, January 28, 2021. First notice, February 5th, 2021. Last inspection, May 11th, 2021, 4 inspections. First inspection was done on January 28th, 2021, taken by Jim Rauch. And he observed disposal of fill materials within the floodplain. This is a county floodplain map versus FEMA, and it does show that the floodplain exists on the property, as noted. He noted the trucking company making the disposal. More pictures that were taken on the property, disposal of fill material. May 11th. I don't know if you can kind of see between the two pictures, they're similar shots of the location. It's just that the area has now gotten vegetation grown over it. But they are still there. The piles are still on the site on May 11th. So staff recommendation is that the property owner remove all disposed fill materials within 60 calendar days or submit a compliant natural resources permit application to address the fill materials and so forth within 60 calendar days.
Okay. Jim, have we had any communication with the violator at all?
Initially, yes, and then he did turn in a natural resource application to try and keep the fill. Chris, if you could go back in the presentation to the pictures of the dirt, or even the picture of the floodplain. This was historically a strawberry field, and along the entire south portion, there was a drainage ditch that's about a swale that's about 3 feet wide and probably about 6 inches deep that was used to bring the water to the stormwater conveyance.
Right along the tree line?
Yeah, it's, if we can back up the presentation, it's along the southern line, and he dumped the piles of fill directly into that ditch, and he wanted to fill that in because he didn't like that it was wearing out the soil a little bit at the county ditch. And I explained to him that it's not just his property, but the two properties to the right of him, to the east, that also use that drainage ditch, and it's a historic drainage, and that he would need to do the engineer's plans to show that the other properties are still going to properly drain, and he could work the water around it without doing that, either move it right to the edge of the property line or something else. And he hasn't done that yet. So the application he turned in for land alteration was denied until he turns in the plans or shows how he's going to not flood the two neighbors to the east of him. And then it just kind of went dead after that. That's been probably a month since I've last communicated with him.
Could you make any modifications to the drainage ditch other than adding fill? Do we need to revise the recommendation to include restoration of the drainage
No,
ditch?
if he removes the fill, yeah, maybe the recommendation should say that the drainage ditch, the historic drainage swale, be cleared because he piled the piles right into it. So if he levels that out, it's still going to cause a backup at his property line from
Sure.
the two lots to the east.
Okay. I will add that in.
Also
Same
note that,
modification to the dates in regards to the,
yeah, I noticed that after receipt of application, go ahead and take that out.
okay.
Jim, would 60 days be sufficient time to remove all the fill?
Yes, and I went on site with Abdel, and he said too that it would be acceptable because he does plan on building a house very soon or within a year or two. And Abdel said it would be acceptable to move it out of the county flood, which he could do, moving to the northeast corner of his property, so he could store it on site until he built his house, because he would have to build up the house a little bit being that close to the county flood.
Sure.
Okay.
Okay. I rule in case L216613 that based on the evidence presented, I find the property is in violation of Hillsborough County codes or ordinances in the staff's presentation. Further, based on the gravity of the violation, the actions taken by the violator and the violator's history, concur with staff's recommendations, require the violator to remove all disposed fill materials and restore the historic drainage swale within 60 calendar days, or submit a natural resources permit application to address disposed fill and materials and stormwater requirements for the property. The following items must be included in the application. That is submit a professional engineer's plan or certified floodplain manager report, provide an as-built plan of the final grade elevations, and obtain a natural resources permit within 60 calendar days. Failure to meet any of the timelines listed above will result in a penalty of $200 per day. Next case, please.
Page 14, number 26, L195753, and this is a contest. It has been pulled and rescheduled for July 13th, 2021. And that concludes the agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for your time. We are adjourned.
Thank you, sir.